Just a Jewel with our host, Arthur Malik.
Welcome to Just a Jewel. I'm your host, Arthur Malik. Today we have the manager of Grayston Bakery. She's awesome. She does a lot for the community. And being honest with you, I really can't pronounce her last name, but I know her as Sunny. So we're going to turn the cameras to her so she can represent who she is.
Thanks for that, Malik. My name is Sunitha Malieckal, a.k.a. Sunny, and I'm the account manager at the Grayston Bakery. So, one of a team of managers, but I've been there for 5 years.
Okay, now, what is the essence of this bakery? Like, who do they hire? Who do they help?
So I'll take you back, I guess, to how we got started. So our founder is a man named Bernie Glassman. Bernie was an aerospace engineer turned Zen Buddhist monk, and he had started a Zen Buddhist community in the town of Riverdale in the Bronx, so just a few miles over from where we are now in Yonkers. And the bakery originally started as a way for that community to support themselves, so they were kind of selling specialty cakes and desserts into New York City and hotels and restaurants, doing really well for themselves. But what Bernie started to see in Southwest Yonkers in particular was a real need. I think at that time in Southwest Yonkers in the early 80s, the community was really, really struggling. Southwest Yonkers in particular experienced many decades of racial discrimination, of economic discrimination, educational discrimination. There's some lawsuits that Yonkers really only resolved in the last 10 years around some of these practices that were going on, and it really isolated a community into Southwest Yonkers and resulted in a lot of long-term poverty and lack of economic opportunity. And so that's the community Bernie walked into. And what he wanted to do was just give people a chance. And so he started to just ask people he would meet on the street, hey, are you interested in working? Do you want a job? And as those folks said yes, he'd bring them into the bakery, train them on the job, get them their certifications. Wow. And that's really essentially what we still do today at the bakery. I think that's really the heart and soul of what we do is open hiring. And what that means is if you're interested in working at the bakery, we have a sign-in list, our job list at the front desk. We just ask you come down in person and sign up. As we have jobs that become available, we'll kind of bring a group of folks in, and there's no applications, there's no background checks, there's no interviews. The only question is, do you want to work?
So you guys afford opportunities to people who are just released from prison.
Yes.
You guys afford opportunity for the homeless. The homeless could just walk up there and receive jobs.
Yeah.
So you guys are actually doing something really constructive or really conducive for the society of Yonkers. Now, is there any disarray, so to speak, because anyone can be hired? Is there any strifes and fights amongst the workers when you hire them because that anyone can walk in and be hired?
It's interesting. I think that's always the question we get. People are always curious, like, what is the environment like then at the bakery if that's the policy? But I have to tell you, we don't have problems that are unusual to any other manufacturing site. Our biggest issue usually is time and attendance, which is the same problem kind of anybody has in our industry. And what I actually see is because of this workforce, because everybody kind of got this opportunity through this same model, and so many of our bakers kind of live in the surrounding neighborhood, they know each other through personal connections, family connections, we actually have a real family vibe at our production facility. I think a lot of people feel a lot of loyalty to the company, a lot of excitement about the company because of the model, and feel a lot of closeness to each other. I think everybody had to go through the same path when they started in those positions on the production floor, and so it kind of creates some real kinship and community, actually.
Do you have to be a resident of Yonkers to work for the company?
No, you don't. So we have some folks who come in from New Rochelle, some folks from Mount Vernon, some folks from the Bronx. I would say by and large our folks tend to be in the Yonkers area, and I think some of that is that lack of jobs in the area. This is one job and one employer where people can get to that's walking distance, people can get there on a bike. So it does present an opportunity for some of those folks who can't get further away from where we are in Yonkers.
How does it make you feel as an individual to know that you're helping the less fortunate when you're providing jobs for them?
I think what I actually really love about Grayston, I've spent some time in the past working at nonprofit organizations and kind of being in that role of the provider, kind of working with clients. And I think what I actually find special about Grayston is that relationship has changed, and these are actually just my colleagues. So, yes, I know the model is helping people, and I know as I've gotten to know some of the bakers that they might not have had this chance elsewhere. But at the same time, we mostly get to interact as just colleagues working together, working through brownie issues or whatever orders we're working on. And so we get to create a really different relationship than, I'm here helping you. It's, we're here, we're learning from each other. I learn a lot from them, and, hopefully they take something from me. But I think it really creates a special team environment there.
So you was a philanthropist, so to speak, prior to working for this company. So you had that internal beauty, you had that humanity within you prior to working for this company. So it was an easy transition for you, so to speak.
Yeah, I think I was always searching for this kind of work. I mean, I started volunteering, I think, early on when I was in my early college days. I worked at a group home, worked at some homeless shelters in Los Angeles. I do come from California originally. But as I went to college, I actually studied business administration and kind of started a career in the business world. Started at Gateway Computers actually as a buyer, and so kind of got into manufacturing and really enjoyed that. So I was always looking to combine the two. Like what I liked about business is I liked the efficiencies. I like making a product and kind of see it and make it into the marketplace at the end of the day. Like I enjoy that challenge, but I want meaning in my work. I want to have some impact on people's lives and the quality of their lives. And so Grayson has been like a really amazing opportunity to combine all of those things and kind of be at a food manufacturing site and making some really cool products, but also doing something that's really meaningful for folks.
Do you have say-so when it comes to the product, or do you just, whatever the format is, you fall into line?
You know, so I do have some say-so. So I do get to participate in the R&D that goes on in the bakery and kind of work with the sales and marketing team as they're coming up with new products. So do get to kind of put in my 2 cents on what flavors I like or, you know, what thoughts I have. We really do that as a real collaborative process as much as we can. My primary responsibility at the bakery is I manage our relationship with Ben & Jerry's. So we have been working with Ben & Jerry's for over 25 years now as they're a global brownie supplier. And so I manage our relationship with them.
Oh, so these are the brownies that you can find inside Ben & Jerry's?
Yeah, so if you've ever had a chocolate fudge brownie or half-baked ice cream, those are our brownies in the ice cream.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So what do you think is more important when it comes to ingredients? The ingredients that you put in your brownies or the ingredients that you instill into your workers?
That's a good question. I think I take my lead sometimes from Ben & Jerry's in that respect. You know, so Ben & Jerry's has kind of a 3-part mission where they're always looking at good product, quality product with quality ingredients, products that have impact in the community, they make an impact for people. And I try to look at it the same way, I think, with our brownies. Like, we're trying to make a high-quality premium product. It's a really clean ingredient deck. We don't have preservatives in there. We're non-GMO. But more importantly, it's knowing who's making it and knowing at the end of the day that the folks who are making it are getting an opportunity to build skills and kind of, you know, build relationships in ways they never would have before and kind of hopefully increase their chances for success down the line. And so I think, I don't know, both of those ingredients are really important. I tend to lean to the people aspect. I love people, and so it's exciting to see people there who find so much meaning in the work they're doing.
Oh, no, I would definitely concur. I would definitely, if I was asked the question, I would definitely say that I think the ingredients that we implement in people far surpass the ingredients that we implement into the brownies, because as you just said, that it's the people. Right? It's the people. Once you have that nucleus, you have that family nucleus, then you can trust them, right, to make a trustworthy brownie. But if you don't have that nucleus, then you might not want to taste these brownies because someone may be putting something in it that don't belong. But if you got that nucleus, and I think it's fantastic that have you describing it is beautiful, that you definitely putting the right ingredients into the individuals that you're hiring. And I definitely commend you. I commend the company for really like instilling that into these guys, because I understand that there's homeless people, there's people that's just being released from prison, and y'all giving them that second chance or that first chance also. And I would definitely concur with your decision.
And I think you touched on something really important, is that we do find occasionally when we're out, so you know, our brownies are actually available in Whole Foods as well, and we sell online, and I think you find sometimes a customer or two when you're demoing in Whole Foods that says, well, I would never eat a brownie made by somebody who came out of prison. I would never eat a brownie made by somebody who was an addict. And I think what's really powerful about the models we're demonstrating every day, that these are people. We're all people with very similar dreams and hopes and desires at the end of the day. And everyone I work with at the bakery, it really doesn't matter what happened in their past. Like right now, today, they're trying to make a change. They want to do something different with their life. They want to progress their life. And all of those people are just as valuable as you and I.
That's phenomenal, because people make these idiotic statements. To me, it's idiotic, honestly, because whenever we go into a restaurant, we're putting our lives on the line. You don't know who's the chef in that restaurant. He could be a psychopath, and he could be putting something in your food.
Right.
Because you don't know if he's been in prison before, or if he hasn't been in prison before, at least a physical prison. A lot of people are still confined mentally, so they can do damage to your food. Right? So people make these idiotic statements predicated on someone's social background or social behavior, and you don't know who you're eating from. But it's easy to put someone down when you think you're so high up. And this is wrong with the concept of most people in society today, because they think they're better than. So it's easy to put someone else down.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people just carry such strong biases and assumptions about what someone is like who maybe has spent some time in prison, or what someone's like who spent some time in the street. People have really built in and built foundational ideas about what those people are like. And I think the bakery really gives people the opportunity to kind of tear those layers away, and you get to know someone on a completely different level. I think we really see people come through, visit the bakery, get to know our bakers. You kind of see those scales fall from their eyes a little bit, like, oh, okay, I had all these ideas in my head about what someone was capable of or what they might want to do with their life, and now I see, like, I could be really wrong about that.
We're dealing with human beings, so even in the field that you're in, even how precious that you're making this company sound, and I'm pretty sure it is a precious company, we're still dealing with human behavior. And when individuals act disaccording to the principles that y'all established, how does it make you feel when you have to let someone go who may really need the job?
Yeah, that's always a really, really difficult decision. I think that's always like one of the hardest parts of the job. You know, some of my bakers I've become closer friends with at the bakery, we talk about this a lot, and we've seen some people come through that maybe they had personal relationships with, they were really invested in, and really, really felt strongly when that person had to be let go for whatever reason it was. Maybe it was lateness, maybe it was too many absences, maybe it was disciplinary issues on the floor, and you feel that that's a difficult decision for everybody. But I think what some of my close friends there say that I really take to heart is if you're not ready, it doesn't matter. If the opportunity is in front of you, but you're not ready to take it and grasp it and run with it, there's only so much you can do. There's only so much you can do to kind of share what that opportunity is with someone, try to encourage them to really embrace it and take it for all it is. But at the end of the day, not everyone is going to make that choice. Not everyone's at that place.
But Sonny, I want to know you as the philanthropist, because you appear to be an angel, honestly, right? You appear to be an angel, how you articulate yourself.
I definitely know some people who disagree with that.
Right? No, they can disagree. This is my opinion. Yeah. This is my opinion, and please don't disagree with my opinion on my show. Right? She's an angel on my show. So being who you are as a philanthropist, as a caring individual, how does it make you feel internally when you have to let someone go?
It always hurts. Like, it always hurts to see someone leave. And I think some of those people who I've seen let go, I'll see them later around Yonkers, or I'll see them somewhere else in the neighborhood. And it just always stings to know that as much as you wanted to try to do, or as much you hoped you conveyed to somebody, that maybe they weren't in the place, maybe they weren't ready, there was something going on outside in their life that you just couldn't impact. I always feel that. I think that's always the worst part of the job, is seeing someone leave.
Does it cause any fear? Because, you know, some of these guys or ladies that you're letting go, these are people that was homeless, and sometimes these are, you know, they have social issues. That, you know, does it make you fearful when you let these type of individuals go? And maybe you, as you just described, you'll see them in Yonkers, you'll see them in society, and they may want to retaliate because you fired them. Does that bring any fear to you?
You know, personally, I don't feel that fear, and I think some of that just comes from getting to know these folks while I'm on the job, and just kind of sharing the simplest things, is kind of coming in the morning and talking about what happened in the playoff game last night, or how's your kid doing, how's my kid doing. Like, I don't know, I think we build really personal relationships in the day-to-day, and I think my motto is I try to just lead with, like, let me be as kind as possible always here, let me lead with my best foot, and just try to get to know folks and make them feel comfortable, make them feel welcome. So I've honestly never felt fear walking away from the bakery or walking in Yonkers that, oh no, I'm going to run into somebody and maybe such and such would happen. I think, I don't know, these are people. I think I really believe in the good and the people I work with at the end of the day, and that even if they had to leave under hard circumstances, that I could see them years later and we could talk and say hello and it would be okay.
Well, that's good that you see the glass half full, but realistically, you know, viewing the things that transpire in society, we know there's people who lost their jobs and come back and shoot people up at the job. So although you're the angel on the show for today, you have to be realistic about certain things, because people do want to get revenge or be revengeful when things of that occur, because professionalism to me is just a word, because if you're taking me away from my income and how I'm feeding my family, how we talk about sports prior to me being fired, how we talked about our baby pictures, our children's pictures, all that goes out the window because now I showed you my family. you got close to my family and you still had the gall to fire me. So sometimes those things change predicated on being fired.
Yeah. I think that is reality. I'll acknowledge, I think, in the back of my mind that you never know what could happen. You never know how somebody will take certain news, how somebody might react. I mean, we have some basic procedures in place at the bakery to keep people safe. We are a secure kind of manufacturing facility. There's security codes at the door. People know when somebody's been let go, that so-and-so maybe isn't allowed to just come back in whenever they want to. So there's a few security procedures in place, but I think besides that, I don't know. I think it's just not my personality to think that way, but realistically, you're right. Anything could happen, and we have a few of those protocols in place to make sure people are safe.
Okay,
But
so you have the proper protocols.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Plus, it's hard to do something to an angel, so remember that. But now, how can my viewers get your product?
All right, so anybody can get our products online. So our website is greyston.com. It's GREYSTON.com. We're also available nationally in Whole Foods. So any Whole Foods around you, they should be carrying all of our brownies. We've got 4 flavors with them: chocolate fudge, a brown sugar blondie, a snickerdoodle, and a vegan chocolate fudge.
Vegan chocolate fudge?
Vegan chocolate fudge. Let me tell you, there's a lot of people who aren't even vegan, and that is their favorite flavor.
Vegan chocolate fudge?
Yes, yes.
I'm not even vegan. That's my favorite flavor already. I ain't even tried.
And then you got some new flavors hopefully coming out with it by the end of the year. We're always working on something new. And then the ice cream. I think you find that Ben & Jerry's ice cream, you're eating Greyston brownies. I think every time you buy a pint of chocolate fudge or you buy a pint of half-baked, you're supporting a Greyston product.
So you guys only have 4 flavors?
Yeah, right now we have the 4 flavors. We're looking to expand right now. We're looking to add some more vegan options, actually. So that's what we're excited about in the months to come. And hopefully our first one will be coming out on the website in October.
So where are you guys located?
So we are in Southwest Yonkers. We're on the corner of Ashburn and Alexander. So anyone who's in the area, we're kind of right in the middle of all the massive development that's going on the waterfront. It's right where we are.
So only in Yonkers y'all have an establishment,
Yep.
none outside of Yonkers?
Yeah, so only in Yonkers. So what's interesting, I think, apart from the bakery is, so the bakery is kind of the for-profit enterprise at the middle of Greyston, but actually Greyston also includes a bunch of nonprofit programs as well. So we have what's called the Greyston Foundation that actually owns the bakery, and we run a number of programs through that entity. So we have 10 community gardens throughout Southwest Yonkers, and folks can have their own plots, make their own produce. Lucy, who runs our gardens program, runs a high school environmental kids club out of there. So younger kids are learning about being stewards of the environment as well.
Shout out to Lucy. Shout out to Lucy.
Yeah, Lucy's amazing. We have a workforce development program, so we offer different certifications, so security training, culinary training, a number of different programs you can take through that program.
And those are the non-for-profit organizations that you
Right. This is all on the nonprofit side. And then finally we have Eson House, which is supportive housing for folks with HIV/AIDS, mental health issues, substance use issues. And we have 35 units there, so we have housing for people available as well.
Wow. Okay. Do you guys plan on expanding the Greyston Bakery?
So we're really looking to. I mean, I think what's been exciting is sales have really been continuing to grow over the last few years. I think as a business, we've been seeing a lot of success, and it's been exciting. And some of that is because more and more customers in the marketplace want products that do good. They want stuff that's meaningful. And so that's really been a boost to us. And so, we look, it's always out there as an option that maybe we could expand out into the surrounding area in the years to come. In terms of the model, I think we're also eager to get other businesses and other companies to think about their hiring practices too. So, we just opened our Center for Open Hiring, and we're trying to share with different companies kind of some of our ideas around how do you open up your hiring practices. Kind of all of these companies across the country, across the globe, everybody has positions that, you might be restricting access based on your resumes, your experience, your interview, but the way we look at it is you could spend a lot of time on interviews and all of that. You still really don't know who you're getting at the end of the day. You still could hire somebody who ends up being a really poor employee for you. So maybe you have opportunities where, where you work to kind of open up those opportunities and give someone a chance.
Hiring people is just like a relationship. Everybody put their best foot forward initially, right? And then as soon as you get to know them, they loosen up, and they not as the hard worker as they pretended to be, or they not into the relationship as they pretended to be. So you're right. People definitely don't know who you're getting initially. So so you might as well just give people chances. Have a heart and give people chances, like Greyston Bakery. You guys are definitely doing a phenomenal job. But I want to know, who supports you? Do the people in Yonkers support you, or do the support basically comes from outside of Yonkers?
I think we have a bit of both. There's definitely some supporters of ours within Yonkers. On the nonprofit side, we work with a combination of grants. We have federal grants coming in, state grants coming in, but also private donors who are contributing to the nonprofit activities, and also a portion of profits from the bakery continues to support that work.
Okay.
So some of those supporters are definitely local to Yonkers, but it's interesting. Grayston finds supporters all over the place. There's a community in the Netherlands of companies actually who are big fans of Grayston and have been big supporters now in recent years. So we have kind of fans all over the world that are interested in supporting the model. And
so could we come there? Could we come to Ashburn and purchase?
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
You guys also ship out?
Yes, we also ship out. So, most of it is, Whole Foods is our biggest retail spot now nationally, so that's kind of the best place to find us, but we're getting into more and more retail locations as we speak. We're in Delta, actually, right now, so we're on international flights with Delta, so you're flying with them anytime soon. You'll get a Grayston brownie there. And then with the Ben & Jerry's, so being in the ice cream, we're actually in the ice cream globally, so we are their global supplier. So if you go to Australia and you get a pint of chocolate fudge brownie, you're eating Grayston brownies. So,
how long have you been working for this company?
So I've been there for 5 years now. I actually just hit my 5-year anniversary about a month ago.
Congratulations.
So,
congratulations.
Thanks.
Okay, congratulations. Now, what are your plans for the future with or without this company?
So I think for me, actually, when I moved to New York, I moved to New York about 10 years ago, was living in Harlem at first, moved to Queens after I got married, and then just moved to Yonkers actually 2 years ago. And I think what I really feel passionate about these days is Yonkers. I think I've really fallen in love with the city. I really love the people there. I love the folks I've gotten to know and I've gotten to work with. And for me, what I see for myself is finding a way to really create change in this community, in this city. So, the bakery gives me a great opportunity to do that. I think even besides my business work there, I also manage what's known as our Benefit Corp team. So B Corp is kind of a movement of businesses who's committed to doing good. And so I get to oversee a lot of projects there on kind of putting recycling programs in place or, putting on sports days for the bakers and their kids and different things like that. And so I love having the opportunity through this job to also kind of create some of that community impact just right on the ground in Yonkers. And I think for me, that's what I hopefully see myself doing for the next 5 to 10 years. I just love to really see some change and renewal in Yonkers and to play a part in that.
I know the funds in Yonkers have definitely been misappropriated, right? Definitely, because Yonkers are doing bad financially, and the children are definitely suffering big time in Yonkers because of that misplaced deficit. What, if anything, are you guys doing to benefit the children of Yonkers?
For us, one thing, we actually recently brought on a new vice president on our nonprofit program side, Joe Kenner, and he kind of comes to us from working in the city and working in the county, so he knows a lot of the right folks, has a lot of the right connections, and we've really been brainstorming recently about what can we do, and in particular what we can do for the youth. I think, as I've talked to the bakers over the years, they always want to work with the kids. That's always like where the excitement is. So some of the ideas we're really thinking about now is whether we can sponsor some local sports teams, kind of get involved from that level, get to know some of the kids. I think with Lucy in the Gardens, we get to do a lot with the kids through that program. She sees a lot of youth through Yonkers all the time, and besides getting to talk to them about environmental standards, gets to think about all kinds of things, mentoring for them, tutoring for them. A lot of that work goes on through the Gardens program, but I think there's always more for us to be doing and to be thinking about. I help manage our volunteer team at the bakeries. We're just trying to think about more organizations to connect with and volunteer with, and hopefully do more things for the kids, but there's definitely more for us to do.
Do you guys attack the schools, the school forums? Do you go
that's one we've been trying to think about getting into. So one of our board members currently has some connections into the PTA at the local school district, and so we're hoping to start some mentoring programs there. There's been some interest from the city in kind of bringing some of the high school youth through the bakery and having them have the opportunity to meet some of our bakers and really hear about their experience. So hoping to get that program off the ground this fall.
What is some of your background? I would like to know some of your background, because it's sometimes it strikes me odd that that people care, because I didn't have many people who cared about me as growing up. So I would like to know, why do you care? Where do you come from that causes you to care?
I think some of it for me, going back, so my family, my parents migrated from India years ago. So they came to Canada first. I was actually born in Canada before we moved down to California. And they took us back to India a number of times when we were younger. And I think that experience was really formative for me. I think going back to India, you really see some extreme poverty. The family my dad comes from, my dad dealt with a lot of poverty himself growing up. I think his family back home, I really saw they're out in the countryside, living in villages in India, and it was a completely different lifestyle than anything I had been exposed to growing up in California. And I think I really took something from that. I think seeing orphan kids on the street, seeing the homeless on the street, seeing these people just in such desperate need, I think it really instilled something in me. And I think my parents really instilled something in me early on that, you know, life is also about service, and there are always people in need around you. And what can you be doing to participate in that? What can you be doing to help someone pass their suffering and pass what they're dealing with? And so I think some of those experiences really, you know, impacted how I thought and how I started to look at things as I got older. And I think as I got older, I saw myself just gravitating to those kinds of opportunities, to how could I participate in change. That group home I mentioned earlier, I worked at when I was in college.
Wow,
and
okay.
at that time, I really wasn't sure kind of where I wanted to go with my career. I took that job just kind of on a whim. I needed a job and was like, sure, I'll work at a group home. Had no idea what I was getting into. I remember when I started, I was in orientation with maybe 7 or 8 other people. And then the first day I was there was just me and one other person who I had met there. And I asked my boss, like, where did everybody else go? And she said, everyone's quit already.
Wow.
They're gone. And it was, 14 boys in this home, ages 7 to 15. And these kids were, it was heartbreaking. These kids were so damaged, had been through so much already, were on a mix of psychotropic drugs, had been through abuse, had been through homelessness, had been through everything. And seeing them, but then seeing that they could have all this pain, but they were still little boys at the end of the day.
Right.
They still liked video games. They still wanted to play with trucks or play football. I don't know. I think that experience also was one that just really stamped something on my mind of these people. These kids just needed a chance, and they're so young, and they've already been denied so many chances. So how can you create opportunities for folks to...
What you're doing, Sunny, is amazing, especially in the world that we live in today, because this world is built on separation. And you can easily say that I'm only helping the Indian people, right? Because I look on Facebook and you have people that say, the black, let's help our black people. You have white, let's help our white counterparts. You have Indians, let's help our Indians. And what you're doing is you're separating yourself from separation. And I think that's very profound, and I think it's very courageous. I think it's and it's sad that it's a courageous act to not be racist in this society.
And it's funny. It's something I think I thought about in my teenage years. As I kind of debated, I'm like, should I move back to India? Should I go do something there for that community out there? There is so much need. But I always felt, I'm here for a reason. I'm in the States for a reason. Like I didn't pick this. I didn't choose migrating to Canada or California. That was something my parents had decided many years before. But I always felt, okay, you're here for whatever reason you're here for, and there's need here. There are issues here. There's suffering here. So what can you do kind of right where you are to participate in alleviating that for somebody? And suffering can affect anybody. I think any color, any background, any issue, like people suffer. And so how can we participate in that? How can we make sure people don't?
I agree, and I just want to clarify that I don't think it would be anything wrong if you help your particular ethnicity
Right.
first, right? But if you help them and forget about everyone else as if they're the only one in existence, then I think there's something wrong with that.
Yeah.
You see, because if there's a fire in your house and there's a fire down a block, you're not going to say, wait, let me run down a block and put out that fire first.
Right.
You're going to first put out the fire in your house. But now once that fire is out in your house and you ignore the fire down the block, then I think the issue arises.
Right. Absolutely.
So, but you, this is amazing. From brownies to saving lives, man. That's amazing. Honestly,
Yeah, no, it's funny because you think at the end of the day, like, oh, it's
do your coworkers have your same concept that you have? And you said that you're family orientated inside the company. Your concept, is this concept shared amongst your peers?
Yeah, I think a lot of my, all my colleagues I work with there, a lot of the bakers I work with there, you see people come to this company because they want to make a change. They want to make a difference. They have all their skill sets. So, maybe you have somebody in marketing and they know how to come up with a marketing campaign, or somebody who kills it in sales and they know what they're doing, but they want that impact. They want to know that they're doing something meaningful at the end of the day. And so Grayson really provides that opportunity to be like, okay, we get to do something fun. We get to be making brownies. It is cool. But at the end of the day, what's really important is we're doing something for people. We're really doing something
Before we wrap up,
lives.
I want you to give my viewers, again, where can they purchase or get these brownies from?
Yeah.
Because I want them to support this cause. This cause is bigger than this show. So I need them to support this cause. So could you just give it information?
All right, for sure. I'll give it one more time. So our website is one of the best places to get them. So that's Grayston.com. You can get us anywhere in Whole Foods. We're across the country in Whole Foods and getting into more retail locations. And then anywhere you can find Ben & Jerry's ice cream, if you pick up that chocolate fudge or that half-baked, you're supporting Grayston.
I definitely appreciate you for being on my show, Sunny. You are excellent. Well, you're the angel for today. You are an angel, and keep spreading your wings and keep doing what you're doing because you're saving a whole lot of people. I definitely appreciate you being on my show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
For the viewers, please support this company. Support them because they are supporting their community, and I think it's imperative that we show the same love back. I appreciate you guys for watching Just a Jewel, and remember to always let your inner jewel shine. Peace.
Just a Jewel with our host, Arthur Malik.